Hi there lovelies, Jo Rose of jorose.com here. Just been having fun with myself because I did start to do a Facebook Live, got myself in such a mess, all gone, all deleted. Today I am talking about the challenges of the 7 energy for all my lovely friends and fellow humans on this life path, the personal year 7. So I've been explaining how we work out the universal year, which is by adding 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 7 equals 10, 1 plus 0 equals 1. So we then add that 1 to our day and month of birth, coming down to a single digit, and we get our personal year. So I'm working on personal year 7 today, and I am sharing 3 challenges that you may have found over the month or year that could be holding you back. So the first challenge is somehow, no matter what you do, things have not been working out right, and there is a lack of trust and faith. You will be overly tested over and over. And I want to say, what you think you should be having and what you really need to be having, chances are they're 2 different things. And we're often chasing something to keep us stayed and secure and comfortable, but it's not allowing the soul to evolve. And the 7 is really about the soul, and it's evolving, evolution, whatever the word is. Anyway, so it's about the soul transitioning on, growing in wisdom, strength, etc. So often we'll find ourselves having to let go of things that we were holding on to, and the 7 is a good time. I know the 9 is about letting go, but the 7 is really having you clean out your inner work. And so if there is a lack of faith and trust, you want to ask yourself seriously, in the higher good of yourself and your soul, what is it that's coming forward, and how can you see it as a benefit? Sometimes when things don't work out, it's because they're not for us. That's not a part of our journey, and we need to let it go. And the 7 is a good time to understand this. So the 7 can be very untrusting, skeptical, very skeptical, and it's the least risk-taking. I'm playing with my glasses to see if oh, look at that, almost no reflection, but my hair's gone, sorry. So anyway, the 7 can be very skeptical and mistrusting, untrusting, and lack faith. You know, a lot of why me? At the same time, who am I? And we'll be being tested over and over to step into our power of who we really are. So you may have found a lot of lack of trust. All I want to say to you is hold in there, because if you can learn to trust the universe, you will be empowered way greater than you were when you didn't trust it. The second point is you may find yourself isolated and alone. The 7 is a runner. It likes a cave, it likes a den. It wants to do its own thinking, and it often gets lost in it. A 7 gets lost in their own head. So if you're in this 7 energy and you're running, or you're finding yourself alone, ask yourself, is it totally necessary? Yes, a 7 needs space. A 7 needs time out. But you want to balance it so that you don't lose connection with the outside world, connection with your family, your loved ones, your friends. It's so important that you explain to them what you're doing and don't do it for a full length of time. The isolation and the aloneness is self-inflicted, because if you're not allowing your family and friends to know what's going on, they eventually give up and they back off. And then when you come forward, they're dealing with their own wounds. We've all got ego and we all need to deal with these things. And so we need to see what we could be doing to others. Yes, you need to be focusing on yourself. But as I say to my children, you know, we're all one. If we're a part of a family, yes, it's one family, but we're all a part of it. Same as a community, same as a friendship circle, tribe, etc. So the 7 can become very secretive, and because they want to work it out in themselves, because the 7 is the philosophical energy, it's the thinker, the seeker, the searcher. And yes, it's good to find your answers, but when you become secretive, you become aloof, and as I've just explained, people will back away from you. It's very emotionally closed, the 7. And if you're seeking connection, which most of us are, because that's why we've come here as human beings, emotionally closed is not a good place to be. So see how you can open up, or give yourself time slots or dinner slots with your family, so to share a little bit more, come together, because a problem shared is a problem halved, and a problem shared somehow doesn't seem to be such a big problem. We ran Soul Empowerment last night, and the group was mainly focusing on one particular person, and that particular person has left the meeting so elevated that my heart is singing. So it is absolutely fantastic to hear. When we open up, when we stop being emotionally closed, we can get help. And often we don't want to share what's going on. And yet when other people see what's going on, they've got advice or support or solutions, or just generally, yeah, they get you. So open up more and share, and you'll get rid of some of your challenges. The third challenge is I was going to say, I can't remember what I was going to say, but things are being forced upon you. That's what I'm going to say. Things are being forced upon you to make decisions, and you need to find a way. And there is a 5-second rule. If you don't make a decision in that 5 seconds, then it's not something you need to make a decision on. Let whatever happens happen, and let that move forward. For me, if I can't make a decision, I didn't used to be able to make a decision, and now I make a decision. And I'm going to give you a little tip here, is because the 7 gets trapped in this way, that way, that way. The 7 energy wants so much information, it eventually gets stuck and it can't make a decision. So our intuition always knows. And so a little bit of kinesiology here. So if you take your thumb and finger and this finger, well, you can do it this way as well, but I do it this way. And we want to test, we're muscle testing here. And I started this on picking a meal, because I was terrible at picking a meal. C7, can't make a decision. So I was terrible at picking a meal. So what you do is you say to yourself, okay, I've got a choice of chicken and fish. So I tend to say, is my name Joe? And no matter whether I do this softly or really hard, if I'm asking a question that I know the answer will be yes, for me, not everybody, but for me, my finger will not go through. Is my name Joe? But if I said, for example, because I've seen Monica come on, is my name Monica? Watch what happens. Is my name Monica? Softly, is my name Monica? It's really hard. Can you see that? Really hard. Is my name Monica? It still comes through. So for me, my yes is when it stays together, and my no is when it comes apart. Other people have it the opposite way around. I then ask, because we're talking about the 7 energy, am I in alignment with my soul? Am I connected? Am I grounded? Whatever way you want to answer that question. So am I connected with my soul? So I am. And then I would ask the question, so do I want chicken or do I want fish? And a friend might be listening to this right now who's offered me dinner, so let's see what I want, see what she's going to cook me. Am I after a meat dish? Am I after a fish dish? That's interesting, because she doesn't like fish, so I wasn't going to get fish anyway. So my friend will do good to make me a meat dish. Whenever I've done this, I've never had a bad meal, never. So I started with meals, and then I went on to other things, you know, turn left, turn right, better parking places, until eventually I went up into big life-changing decisions. You know, shall I buy this house or shall I live in this location? Whatever it happens to be, you can do this for anything. What you're doing is connecting with your soul. So decisions are forced upon you, and you can't move forward, and the 7 just it's constantly, it stays back, it's looking for more and more information. Find a way, another good way. Take a coin, heads or tails, and choose the side for your yes, no answer, or move, stay, whatever your answers are, you know, allocate the side. It doesn't matter what it falls on. What we're looking for is your reaction to the result, because it could fall on heads and if you feel like, oh, right? It doesn't matter, you don't have to go with the heads, you go with this feeling. So the 7 is really teaching you to understand your feelings and go with them. Because what I found with numerology, it realigns us to our intuition, and it's a great way to do it. So find ways to make decisions, and that will help you be less skeptical, which is a 7, less cynical, less pessimistic. And also another trait of the 7 is perfectionism, and we have to let that go. I say just reach for excellence, the best you can in the moment, and you will actually see the results are still beneficial. Being perfect at everything can cause you endless issues, because who's judging? And even if it's good for you, you can hand a job over to someone else and there'll still be a problem, and you'll be like, oh, help. But just be the best that you can be. So the 3 points for the 7 is you may find that you're lacking faith and trust. Hold in there. See that the universe has your back. It really is your friend. Number 2, you could feel isolated and alone. Ask yourself if it's your own doing. And if you feel like maybe it isn't, find yourself meditation groups, find yourself yoga groups, find yourself any groups that allows you to connect right now in the thinking area. And a real strong thing for the 7 is chances are you're very lost and confused. Look at what your skills are, or look at what you want to improve, and go and put yourself on a course. One, you'll make friends in an area that you want to excel in, or that they're in a like-minded place as you, and you'll find that there's less chance to feel alone and isolated. So do some things that you can do to get out into groups as well. And 3 things will feel forced upon you. Know what feels right, know what doesn't feel right. Check in with yourself, throw the coin and make the decisions. It's been lovely talking to you. Remember what I say, you know, it's all about loving yourself first. The 7 it just really allows you to reconnect with who you are, and who you are is truly an amazing, beautiful, powerful, wonderful human being and soul. It's your life. LYFE. Love yourself first every day. You're worth it. Thank you.